Welcome back to another episode of Tell Me Sis podcast, featuring your two favorite sissies,
Alex
and Kyla.
Hello, everyone. If you watched last week's episode, you will recognize our spider webs in the background from Halloween because we're recording this on Halloween and we're pre-recording 2 episodes. So if you're confused as to why we have that in the background, that is why. But, and also I'm still sick, clearly. We hope you're having an amazing week so far. We currently, as we're recording this, all the leaves are basically falling off the tree.
There's so many leaves around your house.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
when I was pulling up, I was like, where is your driveway? I'm going to drive over the grass.
Oh my God. Honestly, not that big of a deal. LOL. Dan, he didn't rake. He did the leaf blower thing.
Yeah.
And then raked piles afterward. And as he's doing it, the leaves are falling.
Yeah.
It's like shoveling when it's snowing as it's snowing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he has to, or else it's just going to pile.
Yeah. And then you're not even going to be able to get on your driveway.
And he knew because the past 2 days we've had insane amounts of rain. He's like, once it rains on these leaves, that's it. They're stuck here. Oof. So we tried. Well, he tried his best.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. And your property is it's big too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of trees around.
Yeah.
Because you live in the forest.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was pulling up on your driveway, I was like, I don't know where. I had to really look because I was like, I don't know where the driveway ends and the grass starts.
Because I'm a granny witch who lives in the forest.
That's weird. Oh my God. If you're listening to this, the posture my sister, the freaking whatever the fuck you just did with your hands.
I'm a witch. Actually, Kyla, I found old home video footage of us. You're in a princess costume and I'm dressed as a witch with a fake prosthetic nose and with a wart.
Yeah.
And I was all creepy talking to the camera and you're this cute little princess.
That's so funny.
I was like, this is so us as kids.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I'm surprised that I was...
You were a princess a lot.
I was?
Yeah. Kyla, you were so girly. You had your high heels. You had all your princess stuff. You were obsessed with baby dolls.
It's so true. And I loved Barbies. It's true. Yeah. I was very, very girly. And I liked playing with hair because it would swing.
We flipped. At don't know what age.
Yeah.
You were girly and I was I don't even know. Can you say tomboy? Is that a thing you could say? Anyway, I was very much as a kid.
Yeah, it's true because you always wanted to play with boys and you wanted to play their video games and you wanted to be playing sports with them and stuff. And I was the one that was I
would have never thought if wearing a dress as a kid was actually a nightmare for me. Mom having to put me in a dress for family photos was it was awful. I did not like it. I was the flower girl at my aunt's wedding when I was 8. I got grass stains all over the dress because I was just running
and
everywhere.
I loved dresses.
And you loved dresses and babies and dolls. And then at some point it flipped where I became obsessed with fashion and makeup and anything girly.
Well, I was like that too.
That is true. So then when you saying you're surprised you're in a dress? Because now you're more...
Because for me, when I think about when I was a kid... I was the one that always had the knotted hair and the chapped lips. And I was obsessed with Papa's old, the toolbox he got me for my birthday.
Yeah, but you'd use it for your fake makeup. That was your makeup case and your purse.
It's true. For some reason, when I think about when I was really, really young, because maybe it's because I always wanted to put those toys in my underwear and pretend I had a penis.
Oh yeah, because you had penis envy, which is a real thing, guys. Look it up.
And Dad thought that when I grew up, I was going to get a sex change or something because of it.
Yeah, no, it's actually very common.
It is?
Yeah, I learned it when I was in my psychology
course. So I feel that's what I associate. That's what Freud. I think of.
Anyways, look it up. Freud, penis envy.
I had that.
I actually remember learning about it in class and being like, oh my God, this is Kyla. This is so Kyla because... It was for a short period of time. I don't know how old you were, 3, 4, no, younger. 2, 3.
I don't remember. I was very young.
And you used to wear your underwear and put a little snake in there and pretend you had a penis. And you used to say all the time, I want a penis. I have a penis. And it's because I think you saw the power person in the family at the time was Dad. And you saw that as anyway, Search it up. It's actually very fascinating.
I wanted to be the one in charge.
With your fucking messy hair and chapped lips, with the red chapped lips that went like all the way up to your nose because you kept licking it over and over again.
Yes. And then the bathing suit that I wouldn't take off. I was always wearing that bathing suit.
Kyla, your birthday party when you were like 6 or 7, dead of winter. Everyone's in fancy dresses. You were in a bathing suit.
Was this at our old house?
Yeah.
Before we moved?
So 5?
I was 5 when we moved.
Okay, so 5.
Yeah, because by the time I was like 7 years old, I wasn't wearing that. I remember being very young. I was like 4 or something.
Regardless.
And I remember Dad cutting the bathing suit so I couldn't wear it anymore.
Oh, that's so mean.
And I cried.
Oh.
Because he didn't want me to wear it anymore because I was obsessed with it.
Yeah, all you wore was that bathing suit.
Yeah. Which, like, I get why he wanted me to take it off. He didn't want me. He probably thought that I was, like, going to have, like, some weird attachment anxiety or something.
Interesting, because because you had a fucking pillow obsession with that pillow case.
That's different, though, because that was just, like, when I was at home. I probably made Mom and Dad's life very difficult because I probably always wanted to wear that bathing suit. And they'd be like, no, you have to change and put on clothes. We're leaving the house. And
also,
I probably
it's winter,
didn't want to.
It's snowing. You cannot wear that.
You know? And so he probably was like, we need to get rid of this bathing suit.
I do not remember that fiasco.
Yeah.
For me, the quote-unquote traumatizing event in my early years, which is not traumatizing at all, but it was like, I remember it being like, I was obsessed with my baby bottle. Okay, I always wanted milk in a bottle, but not like any bottle. It was my baby bottle, like what you would give a baby.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know how old I was, but old enough to like actually have a memory of this, where Mom had to have a conversation with me that like, okay, it's like tomorrow's the day that we're going to get rid of the bottle. It was like a whole thing. And then it didn't end up happening for whatever reason. And finally it was taken away from me. And I remember standing, I don't know if it was a bribe or what happened, but the memory I have is I'm standing in my old bedroom. I'm opening up a drawer to put on pants or something, and I look and Mom is walking by my door down the hallway, and I knew in that moment that's the last time I'm going to see this bottle. And then it was. And I remember being so upset over it. And I don't know why I had an attachment to that bottle in specific and drinking my milk out of a bottle, but it was like it's such a clear memory for me.
It's so funny how kids are so instinctual. It's like you just know.
Yeah, I just knew. It was the last time. But I had blankies, which I still have to this day.
You know what's crazy? So, I mean, okay, so for anyone listening or watching, I used to do this thing called Moonie. I don't know why I called it Moonie, but I basically
Do you know what Moonie means?
No.
Because I call my dog Moonie sometimes, and someone commented that it means vagina, and I forget what language.
Well, that's nice. Anyways, I didn't know that's what it meant, so that's not why I named it that. But I don't know where it came from. We called it Moonie Munchkin.
Maybe that's why, because they call you Munchkin, and it was just like a fun little nickname.
Yeah,
Mooney
maybe. I don't know.
Munchkin.
So but anyways, I had this pillowcase, and excuse me, it was always really soft. Mm-hmm. But there was also like when Mom would wash it, there was like pieces of the fabric that would roll up in like these like tiny little balls. But like the overall fabric was like really soft. Yeah. And I used to take it and put it in between my fingers and like rub my fingers and then like suck on my tongue, like so my tongue would be kind of like.
It's a soothing thing. You did a soothing thing.
Exactly. And so I did that for years, and we called it Moonie.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where my pillowcase was like so worn up and destroyed because of that it was like, it wasn't even a pillowcase anymore. It was just like this.
It looked like a blankie.
It was like, it looked like a really old blankie that was like a rag, and it had like knots in it everywhere.
String.
It was like just like it literally looked like a chewed up like dog toy.
Listen, if you guys have a blankie from childhood, you know exactly what she's talking about, because they all end up looking like that.
Exactly. But like this was a pillowcase, and I remember getting like I never wanted Mom to wash it because it would change the texture after she washed it, and then it would have to like I would have to wait a few days until I could do Mooney again, and it would feel back to normal.
Never washed?
No, she did wash it, but I used to always get really upset. I would give her a hard time, and she would have to like wash it behind my back,
like hand wash it.
Yeah, and I knew that like when my blanket or when my pillowcase wasn't brown anymore, and it was back to being like light pink. It's because mom washed it.
Yuck.
But anyways, I don't remember the last time I did Mooney.
I don't remember the last time I played dolls.
There was a point in time, and it's the same thing that like I always see these videos on TikTok of being like, at one point in time, your dad picked you up for the last time ever.
I'm going to cry.
Or like your mom picked you up for the last time ever. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh my God, like it made me emotional too. But I was like, I don't remember the last time I did Mooney. There was a point in time where it was the last time I ever did it.
There was the last time we played dolls. The last time you had a sleepover with your best friends when it was like a true sleepover. There was this ties in so well with the episode theme today about nostalgia, but it is crazy to think that there is a last time to things that are so prevalent in your life for so long,
and you don't realize it doesn't even register that it's like the last time, and you don't even, it's like, you know, when you think back to a certain time period of your life, and it's like during that time period you didn't know that this was a certain era of your life, and like maybe you don't appreciate certain things from that time period as much, but then when it's gone and in hindsight you're like, oh my God, like I remember that period of my life. But like when you think about how you felt during that period, it's like even right now this is a period of our life, and one day we're gonna look back to this time period and be like, remember when?
Well, there's that trend right now on TikTok where it's like, this is where, when I'm 80 years old, this is where I'm gonna come, like in my head. And it's usually like a video of like a mom laying with her baby, or like some like playing with their friend, or like it's something that's very like beautiful, and it's like, when I'm 80 years old, this is where I'm gonna come in my head.
Oh my God, that makes me want to cry.
Yeah, so like you're gonna think back, because right now I have young kids, and from the ages of like 0 to 5, let's say, to my son, it's like such a hard like period of time, because your kids are so young and they need so much extra help, and they don't listen as well, and they have sticky fingers and everything's messy, and like tantrums and X, Y, and Z. And it's like, in the moment it feels tough, but then there comes a time where
Arkham's gonna be
like, you're gonna look
a
back.
teenager one day.
I literally yesterday was going through old videos to find something for my friend, and their son, who's basically a teenager now, was Arkham's age in these videos, and it did not seem like very long ago. And I was sending it to them, and they were like, oh my God, what I would do to go back in that moment and just like hug him and pick him up, because like they're not going to want that anymore. And it's fine, it's normal to grow up, you know. But it's like, through all the really, really hard times, I keep always reminding myself that I'm in such a beautiful phase that I'm going to look back on and like wish that I could have one more day, one more time where I can lay in bed with him, and he wants to tell me about his day, and like he doesn't want to go to bed yet, and he's making up all these excuses, but he wants to tell me about like the fun he had that day, and like lay there with him, and he's got his like soft skin, and he's just like this little boy telling me about like all these fun things. Like, I'm not gonna get that as he gets older.
Oh my God, I want to cry.
Like, there's so many things that I'm like,
because now I have memories of like laying in bed with Dad when he would like either play guitar for me before bed, or he would read me a story. He would talk to me and tuck me in bed, and I was like super young. I was like younger than 10. I was maybe like between 5 and 8. And like Dad used to, like, even like I would have moments like this with Mom, but like Dad is, you know how deep Dad is, right? Like he's very deep and sentimental and philosophical. And so he would tell me like, you know, Kyla, like I remember when I was a kid and my dad told me, Aldo, like one day you're going to be much older and I'm not going to be here anymore. And or like he would like put things into perspective, and like at the time I remember thinking like, yeah, but that's in so long, like, because when you're so young you think that you're just like invincible and you're always going to be a kid.
You don't realize.
And then like you're like crying right now.
I'm crying.
And then like when you're a teenager you think you're always going to be a teenager, and then you're in your 20s and you think you're always going to be in your 20s, and then you reach your 30s and like that's when it's like you still have that feeling of like, oh, like I'm still young enough and whatever, but it's like you have so much more experience and perspective, and like you can like actually, you know, you're a lot more mature.
Yeah.
And that's when, I don't know, for me at least, my 30s is when it's like really started to hit me, where I'm like, oh my God, I remember dad telling me things when I was like so young. And like I had that moment when I was like tucking Arky to bed at one point when he slept over last time.
God.
And like I was reading him a book, and like I don't know why it popped into my head, because we weren't talking about anything that was nostalgic. Like the book wasn't about anything nostalgic. And it just like, I was like wishing him, like I finished reading the book, I kissed him on his forehead, told him I love him, and I was going to bed, and he's like, can you leave my door open a bit? I think that's what triggered the nostalgic feeling, because I remember telling dad that, and then I like was going to bed and I had this lump in my throat, and I was like, oh my God, I remember so vividly all those times dad was tucking me to bed and told me, you know, my dad used to tell me this,
and now it's you,
and like now it's like, your parents aren't invincible.
I know. It like literally makes me so nostalgic. It makes me so emotional, because I actually saw this thing online. Someone shared that nostalgia is basically like grief. It's grief over a time, not a person.
Yeah.
So it's like an absence of something that used to be, which you'll never have again.
Yeah.
So there's those, I've seen them on social media. It's like a video, and it has this nostalgic music. I don't know how to explain it. It's not even music. It's more like you hear like kids laughing in the background.
Alex,
and
whenever
I
hear that sound,
and then
there's and then there's pictures of like the street
lights,
a residential street
with
the lights that, and like it's getting a little bit dark, and it's the summer, and the street lights are coming on, and it's like just the tone of the photo, and like with that music.
Yeah.
And like then there's like the bikes, and then there's the Nintendos, there's the toys that we used to play with as kids, the TVs.
It was before cell phones, before social media. Like it was just a time that was such a beautiful time. And like we said earlier, there was a time where that was the last, and we just didn't realize it. And now looking back, and I think that's why I'm such a nostalgic person, because I have such amazing memories.
Yeah.
Like I have so much to look back on and be grateful for, and like get excited to do that with my own kids. But I'm currently right now the age dad was when he had me. And so I think I had this moment of feeling like, whoa, we actually calculated it. Well, he did, because I'm not good at math, but he calculated the exact age that that he was when I was born to the minute, because we know the time that I was born, the exact age I came into this world, how old he was to the minute. He calculated that for me, which was August 8th. And he called me at that time at 5:50 p.m. and we spoke on the phone, on FaceTime. Aww. During that moment. He's like, right now is the moment, like you're the exact age right now that I was when you came into this world. That's crazy. And he said he remembers right before I was born, he had this feeling of like, well, first of all, he was like, what's she going to be like? What's she going to look like? What is she going to be like when she's older? And then he was, it's going to be so crazy that at some point she's going to be my age right now as like an adult woman. I'm about to have this baby, and she's at one point going to be,
well, Alex, 35. That's going to be Arky and Rue one day. They're going to be adults.
It's already going by so
that are
fast.
Moving out.
No, like I can't. Like it actually, like I know it's so good, it's so healthy, but like, I think the reason as to like I have a 4-year age gap with my kids, so now I'm like redoing everything. It feels kind of like for the first time, because there was such a big gap. Like we were not in the baby phase for so long that going through it again, I'm like, oh yeah. And then I remember like this actually wasn't even that long ago with Arkham. Mm-mm. But it's making me like realize how fast it goes. Like one day,
4 years isn't like the biggest age gap. I remember you kept talking about
COVID.
What?
COVID is going to be 6 years.
I know. But like I remember you talking a lot about the age gap. But I was like, okay, like it's not like back to back, but 4 years isn't like that much of an age gap. It's not like 10 years, 15 years.
I was more stressed before because I didn't know when I was going to get pregnant.
Yeah.
I didn't know how big the gap was going to be. Once I found out like I was pregnant and everything was okay, like I was like, okay, 4 years, that's great.
Yeah.
But I still in the back of my mind was like, oh, I wish it was closer because that's what I was used to growing up as a kid, right?
Yeah.
But after now living through it for 16 months of this 4-year age gap and also speaking to so many different people, realizing that there are so many positives to an age gap. And I actually think for me and my own like personality and mental health as a mom, I think I would have really suffered if I had a smaller age gap.
To be honest, I was thinking the same thing because I was like, at least when Rue is born, then, or like even before you knew you were pregnant, I was like, okay, yes, like, you know, because you're thinking about the relationship and how close you want your children to be. And normally when there's a smaller age gap, they're a lot, you know, like they could still play together.
Yeah.
Like whereas like if the age gap is like really big, then like naturally it's like, okay, they're in completely,
well, I was thinking,
you know,
like, what if they're 6 years apart, you know?
But at the same time, it would kind of make your life easier. Like, first of all, if you think about it, the older you get, like you could be friends with someone 6 years older than you or 6 years younger than you.
Yeah.
So like as you get older, like age doesn't really matter as much because like everyone just kind of matures enough. Sometimes like, you know, someone much younger could be even more mature than an older person. Anyways, all that to say, the like Archie is more independent and he's just going to keep getting more independent and he could help out with things and he can understand things too.
Yeah.
Like I feel as though with Archie, he was old enough where I'm sure like, you know, obviously he had moments of getting maybe a little bit jealous of Rue or whatever, but it was like an adjustment. But like he was old enough to understand, like you could explain to him like she's just a baby and like she doesn't know and she can't talk and she can't do this and she needs this because of this. And he was able to like grasp it. Whereas like if he was 1.5 or 2 when she was born, you can't explain all that.
No, you basically have like 2 babies.
Yeah. Like
the 2 under 2 is really hard. I have a lot of friends that have 2 under 2 and it's really difficult, but it's only difficult for like a short period of time and then it gets easy, right? Because then they entertain each other as they get older.
Yeah.
But again, the age gap does not mean your kids are going to be close because every person is different, right? I have friends that have like really big age gaps with their siblings and they're super close. And then I have other friends with big age gaps and they're not close. And the same goes with close age gaps, you know, like some people are close, some people aren't. It's just a matter of personalities. And I know there's going to come a time where he's going to be a teenage boy and she's not going to be a teenage girl yet. And she's going to look up to this like older brother and he's not going to really want anything to do with her because he's going to be 16 years old and she's going to be 12, you know, and he's going to want to be with his friends and whatever. But I also think because there won't be as much competition since they are different sexes. Like I do think there is a difference in that. Like I think that, let's say having 2 boys really close together, they're almost like competing. You almost like pin subconsciously. I feel like a lot of, especially society, pins in together, right? Because it's like, oh, they're brothers and they're close in age. And like if one is really academically smart and the other person is gifted in the sports, and then it's like you have all these competitions, whereas there's a 4-year age gap. One's a boy, one's a girl. Their personalities could not be more different. Yeah. You know, and maybe even their interests will be different too. Who just came in? Dan. Oh, I didn't even know he left. But it's really interesting what you just said too about when you put Arkham to bed and you had that moment of like, oh my God, it like threw you back.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my God, like for some reason it just like triggered this like memory. And I was like, all of a sudden, it was like, and such a strong feeling of like vivid, of like me being Archie's age, and Dad tucking me into bed, and what he told me about, you know, one day, like I remember, I'm also confusing things that Dad has told me over the years and stuff, because Dad has told me many times, like, you know, I won't always be here, or, you know, like my dad used to tell me this when I was your age and I never understood it at the time. I would dismiss it and think like, what does he know? And now that I'm his age and I'm the father. I'm understanding where he was coming from and stuff. And even though Arky's not my kid, I was just like, everything was kind of hitting me at once. And I was like, what the fuck?
And you had that like nostalgic,
yeah, and
emotional...
I got this huge lump in my throat. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like even this period of time right now with Arky now being the kid and me tucking Arky into bed, like that's not going to be forever. He's going to be my age one day.
You know what I spoke about with my friend?
What?
How like I have memories, because I guess I was older, not a teenager, still a child, but older enough to like have memories of, there was a phase like a few years where dad and mom, they went to so many funerals, because it was like parents passing away, aunts passing away, uncles passing away, friends of their parents, friends of their aunts and uncles, like like all these people were passing away because they're all older. And I remember going to like a ton of funerals when we were kids, or sometimes we'd get babysat because they were going to a funeral, and I would just hear about it so often, and to me it was just like another day. I didn't realize or recognize that they were like grieving and going through all these things, but I'm like, that's going to be us soon. Like we're going to be the parents or the adults that are going to be going through a bunch of funerals, because everyone that we know that's older and in that like time frame eventually is going to pass, and like I'm going to have to just come home and like be a mom. And I'm like, because Nona passed away when mom was pregnant with me. Oh my god, I'm like getting emotional.
I know.
And dad said that like he lost his mom and then had a baby, and like he had to work, and like he had to like, I can't even imagine. I mean, I guess you have to oh my god, I can't think of the word. Compartmentalize things, because you can't live in grief forever. Like you have a life, you have a
need
job.
To be able to like process things and not let a loss become your identity.
And I know,
because everyone, it happens to, and like that's the thing. But then again, it's like, that's just, I don't even know what it feels like to lose a parent. I don't fucking want to know. I was having this conversation the other day.
God. I like feel like I grieve every single day when I think about it, because I know it's inevitable. But
no, I can't handle it.
It like makes
you know
me
what
so
I was
emotional.
thinking? Now I feel like crying. I was thinking about this the other
Good,
day.
you should cry more. Robot.
Well,
sorry.
No, literally sometimes I do feel like a robot. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, how do I think I'm gonna handle it when like mom or dad pass away? Like I'm gonna be a fucking mess. And I was like,
you actually don't know.
No, but I was like, I'm gonna turn to my sister.
You're gonna turn into me?
No, I'm gonna turn to you.
Oh yeah, well no, we have each other.
But I was like, it's just crazy, because like,
you're like, fuck, I have to turn to my sister.
No, because it's like,
bitch.
no, because like you're my older sister, so it's like still that parental figure.
Oh.
Whereas like I'm your younger sibling, so like it's different for you maybe.
No, because I think I can understand like how you see it that way, because I'm your older sibling and you've always seen me as that.
Because you've also protected me a lot growing up.
But as adults, I feel like we're there for each other in a lot of different ways. There are so many times where I've been in like a bad place, and you've helped me so much with like advice and just talking to me.
Yeah.
And I just think that as adults,
but it's just different though. Like it's,
you turn to our cousins.
No, but like yes, definitely. Like I would help you too, but like there's just something parental when it comes to an older sibling.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like you weren't brought into this world with an older sibling who already had been through certain things before you.
Yeah.
And like you would like shelter me from certain things growing up.
Yeah.
Like all, like you didn't have that from me.
No, but because we had such a big family, and because our cousins did like spend summers with us, and we were so close, I felt that way with like Rick or Christina, like Stephanie, and because our family is so close and we are very like emotional. Well, like one side, I feel like mom's side of the family, they can be emotional in like a different way, and not in like a like. Dad's side of the family, we're very like, we cry all the time, and we're so like spiritual and emotional. Like it's
more vulnerable emotions, whereas mom's side is more of like the dominant emotions.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's why when mom lost Papa, like her dad, she didn't even cry at the funeral, because it was like she had to like disassociate. And that's a story for her to talk about.
Yeah.
But like I remember that.
I feel like I would do the same almost because it's too much.
I think for me,
like I have moments to this day. It's so weird, Alex, because I didn't cry either when Papa passed away. I almost felt like there was something wrong with me because I was like,
you were numb.
Everyone in the family is so like, you know, like with Mama especially, and like everyone is like grieving. Whereas like I felt almost like so disconnected, not because I didn't care. I cared, but it was like I didn't cry. I didn't feel, I was completely numb, and I was like almost maybe in denial.
Yeah.
Even though I knew on a like logically I'm never going to see my grandpa again. Yeah. It didn't really hit me. It's like more in the recent years I get these random moments of thinking about Papa.
Yeah.
And like even more recently where I'm like, when I get married, like Papa's not going to be there. Yeah. Like that really bothers me.
It bothers me that Dad never met him or Elena.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we lost Dad's parent. Like, so our dad's mom passed away when my mom was pregnant with me, so I never met her. And then our Nono passed when I was 11 and you were what, like 9, 8? So, and he lived in Italy for so long prior to that. So we knew him and we loved him, but I didn't have a super like close relationship with him. So I remember when he passed, I was sad, but more sad for like Dad. I was like,
I didn't
Daddy
even really
lost
understand.
His dad. Yeah, I think you were still really little because I was 11. So I definitely like understood death. But I didn't grieve the loss of him because I didn't really have him in my life. I more felt sad for Dad because I saw him be really sad. My first ever experience with death that wasn't an animal was our grandfather, who was like another father to us. He was extremely involved in our lives. He lived down the street from us. He came to everything. Yeah. We saw him the same weekly. Birthday as me. Yeah, like we were extremely
like close. I see videos of him now, like the video that Dad took when we were in Hungary and he's talking. Yep. And I'm like, it's crazy that it's been 15 years now since he's been gone.
Yeah.
Because like I remember him so vividly, and like his voice, I'm like, I can't believe I haven't heard that voice in person for 15 years.
Yeah, there's definitely aspects of myself that block it still. Like I definitely grieved it many times, and grief never goes away. People explain grief as it's like a rock that you have in your pocket forever. Sometimes the rock doesn't feel as heavy.
We're so emotional. I'm like actually holding back tears.
Sometimes the rock doesn't feel as heavy, but it's still there. And then sometimes it does feel heavy, and that's okay, because they say that grief is just love with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And to feel grief is to feel love, and it's like,
I know.
Am I getting my period? What's the date today?
I'm about to get my period.
So, but also it's just, I just know that I'm an emotional person. Like I just am. And I know that like having memories of Mom and Dad going to so many funerals of people that were family to us, but they weren't like, I don't know. It's like my great uncle. Like, okay, I didn't know him, but to like Mom and Dad, like they knew him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the fact that we're going to, in the next decade, have that.
No, I don't want to think about it.
And like, I hate that so much.
You don't know if it's the next decade.
Well,
you don't know.
It's not.
You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. You never know. But yeah, to be nostalgic for a time is like I said, grief for a time, and then like obviously grief of losing people. It's just, I think when people think back to their childhood, they think of like, for the most part, and hopefully they think of happiness. They think of like a simpler time, less stress, less real life. It's like you're concerned about like what game you're going to play with your friend or what color crayon you're going to use versus being real.
Yeah.
And I think even for me, because I only really got social media like later on in my teens, and like early 20s is really when it took off. As kids, like I did not have social media, and then MSN started for us when, I don't know, I was like 12. So like I guess that technically is social media, but it's with your peers only.
Yeah. It like,
sorry, I'm leaking because I was crying.
Oh, it's fine. I just feel like it's just crazy when you look back on like different times of your life. And like, I almost feel like in hindsight, certain time periods feel so much more meaningful. You don't realize how meaningful a certain, like, even sometimes I think back on, like, when I was 24, that was, like, one of the most pivotal ages of my life, because from the age of 16 to 24, I was pretty much always in a relationship. I had 2 long-term boyfriends back to back.
And 24, you were single, right?
From the ages of 16 to 24, or 17 to 24, whatever. I had, like, just turned 17, and I had just turned 24, and that's when I became single for the first time since I was, like...
Basically, the first time you were single as an adult.
Yeah. And there was this guy that came into my life during that time period, like, right after.
Yeah.
And I was, like, so infatuated with this guy. Like, we spoke for, like, almost 3 years. And, like, anyways, I liked him.
Who it is? Oh, yes.
You do know.
Yes.
And I liked him so much. And then, like, I remember during that time, it was like I was still growing up.
Yeah.
And, like, I felt like I was already so experienced, and I felt like I was already grown up, but, like, I didn't know anything. And, like, anyways, there's just certain things I think about, and, like, him and I stopped speaking eventually, not because anything bad happened, but, like, he ended up, he's from, like, a different continent. But I remember, like, when I think back to that time of my life, I'm like, it was, like, the most meaningful, pivotal turning points in my life. And, like, this person, like, meant so much to me. And, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost, like, symbolic. And, like, I get so emotional sometimes when I think, like, there was oh my God, this happened to me a few times. So it's been, like, a long time since him and I have talked. And, like, anyways, like, there's no communication there, and I'm completely over it. But I woke up, especially in the summer. For some reason, summers are really in the morning when I wake up, and there's, like, I hear the birds chirping.
You hear
and,
that
like,
one bird that makes that noise?
Yeah.
And the bug.
And, like, a smell or whatever. And I'm like, it, like, brings me back. It's such a fucking nostalgic feeling, and it's, like, so vivid. It's, like, I get that feeling of, like, oh my God, I remember, like, waking up in the summer to, like, the sun shining through my windows and hearing the birds. Mm-hmm. And I was in my bed in my room at mom and dad's place because I was still living there, and, like, going to check my phone to see, like, oh, has he messaged me? And, like, seeing his name on my phone, and, like, the feeling I would get, and, like, and I'm just like, and it almost makes me, like, depressed. Not because I miss him. It's just, it's a nostalgic feeling of, like, I'm never going to be that age again.
And you're never going to be this age again.
I know.
Because in 10 years, you're going to think back to
and
this
you never
age.
appreciate it when you have it.
I know.
It's crazy.
Like, I remember I have a friend right now that's like, oh my God, like, I'm so old. And I'm like, literally in 10 years from now, you're going to look back at this point and be like, wow, that's crazy that I thought I was so old.
Yeah.
You know, because
I thought I was old when I was 27, 28.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about this, remember? And I said 30 felt younger than 28, and it just makes sense. It just does.
Yeah.
If you're 30, you get it. But I feel like
I'm about to turn 33. My birthday's in a month.
I got pregnant with Rue at 33.
Which is crazy to me because...
No, wait. I had her at 33.
Which is crazy to me because I could not even imagine myself being pregnant right now. You already had a kid and you were about to give birth to a second.
But also, like, a lot of people are waiting later now to have kids, which fair. And a lot of people are choosing not to have kids, which also fair. But I think that when you were talking about feeling so young and being like, or no, not feeling so young, feeling so old, but you were so young, and that nostalgic feeling, I don't think that ever really goes away, because internally you'll always feel young in a way.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're like 50s and 60s, I feel like that's why a lot of women, especially, also because of society, but we have this, like, weird thing with aging where we feel like we don't connect with our outward appearance because internally we don't feel that age because of what we perceive, right? Like, when you're younger, you think, like, as you're older, an older woman, like, they're not taken as seriously anymore. They're like, they lose their beauty, quote unquote. Like you think all these things because of society. And so as a woman, as you do age and as you start to show signs of aging, you almost get insecure because you're thinking, I don't feel that old internally, which nobody ever does, just FYI. And it's like you can't connect with that outward appearance. There's no connection.
Because when you're still young and you look at older people, you think that
they know everything.
They know everything and they don't feel young and they
don't feel insecure and they don't have fears. It's like, once you're older, you just know everything and like
everything is figured out, and like they don't have moments of like, changing an opinion about something or like being unsure of themselves. Yeah.
But then you realize when you get to be that age, and maybe this is why you don't connect, because you're like, wait, I don't feel that way. But it's like, no, they didn't either.
Yeah.
It's like growing up, I thought mom and dad knew everything. I thought they had the answers. If they told me something, I'm like, oh, that must be true. Because they're my parents and they just know.
Yeah.
But when you become an adult and you like have your own opinions and do your own research, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I actually don't agree with that. And that's okay. But it's like when you're younger, you don't see that a lot of the times. You don't recognize it. You just see people that are older than you as like these people of authority that just know everything. And then you become that age and you're like, I still feel like I'm in my 20s. What is going on? I'm confused.
Like I still feel like
I feel like I'm 25. That's how I feel. I feel 10 years younger.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like 25, 26.
Yeah. Like I feel like probably for a long time I'll feel that way. Maybe when I'm like 50 or 60, I'll probably feel like my age now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think like I've always been someone that's never connected with my age. And maybe that's why, maybe because I was so immature growing up and I went into puberty so late that I had issues connecting with my age because I just didn't feel my age. But I now realize that I think it's still a thing for me. I still feel like I'm a lot younger than I am. And I know I'm not immature. I just think that it's like what Dad said. Sometimes he would like do a double take in the mirror because you'd be like, wait a minute. That outward appearance doesn't match how I feel inside. I feel still like a kid.
I know. Sometimes even for me, like I'm noticing signs of aging and I'm like, bro, that's crazy. Like,
because obviously what a privilege to age. We all know that. We're like, wow, it's so amazing.
But still at the same time, it's like,
it's
because you associate getting like, wrinkles or like drooping a little bit or your body changing with like you're deteriorating. Listen, and like you associate it with like, oh no, your time is over.
Well, that's the thing. We're all scared of death. Most of us are. And I think that's what it is showing is that you're closer to death. Yeah. But tomorrow is not promised for anybody. So like realistically, we should just live every single day to the fullest and appreciate the current moment. Yes, it's fun to like think back and have these nostalgic feelings. Like I think it's a good thing to feel those. I really do. And I think it helps propel you forward. But living in constant fear of the future and also like either being upset over the past or living in the past is just you'll never be present. And like time just goes by and they're always going to be thinking in the past, oh, I should have been more present then. I should have been more present then. Just like as best as you can, and I'm saying this to myself as well, to really just live in the moment. And I think in my life, this is like the first since the end of the spring, the first time in my life where I've truly, truly been living in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I don't have like fears or stresses or think about the past, of course, but it's like you're
just embracing where you're at.
Yes. And I feel so comforted by that.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone is healthy. I'm going to wish at some point in my life that I'm going to be in this little happy bubble. So why am I not living happy and appreciating it right now while it's happening?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little 2 cents of nostalgia. What a emotional episode.
Yeah, seriously, this is a really emotional episode. But like, it's just crazy. And like, I'm sorry, but like as we're like having this really emotional, vulnerable episode, I keep looking at your skeleton guy that's just like hanging outside and it's like throwing me off.
The Halloween decoration.
He like turns and faces me and then like turns away.
He's like, what'd you say, bitch? What are you talking about?
But I yeah, like that feeling just like hits me, especially in the morning and in the summer.
Oh my God, yeah. The smell. Okay, this, Kyla, next, you're going to realize it, okay? When it's like the end of winter, okay? A lot of the snow is melting. Before it starts to smell like farm.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like you get this like wet pavement smell of like the air is starting to get warmer.
Yes.
Spring is on the horizon. The days are getting longer. Open your windows in the morning and smell that smell, and it's going to bring you back to being younger.
Yes.
You already know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That to me is like, maybe because as a kid, it's like you're getting closer to summer and it's like such an exciting feeling. And then now as an adult, you know, you take it as almost like a sign of growth. It's like, oh, everything's new and blossoming. And like, we're about to like get out of the deep, dark winter.
Yeah. Also, you know what I think it is too, with like that nostalgic feeling and like wanting to like either like watch a childhood show or like you get emotional over certain things, or like, I don't know, like you do certain like things to self-soothe or comfort yourself that like remind you of childhood. I think that like part of it is because when you're a kid, especially if you had like a good upbringing, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like when you're a kid, you're not jaded by things. If you have a good upbringing, like you're not jaded. You don't have
innocence.
There's so much innocence, and you're experiencing everything for the first time, and you don't have adult responsibilities.
Yeah.
You're like 100%
present,
dependent on like your parents.
Yeah.
And you could be present.
Yeah.
And like you don't have bad memories.
Hopefully.
Like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like hopefully, if you know, you were lucky to have a really good childhood, like in our experience, that's what it is. And like, so then you think back to like the times in your life when, or like the time in your life when you genuinely felt so much joy.
Yeah. It's like,
and you were so present and like light.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's probably why it brings you, like why that feeling makes you feel nostalgic, is because you like miss that feeling. You'll never have it again.
Yeah.
Of just that freedom and that innocence.
I saw a video recently on TikTok of the sound of like those kids like laughing and stuff, and it's like the nostalgic sound. And it was a picture of like you just like things from like the 90s.
Yeah. And
the text said, at one point, like there was a point in time where you got off your childhood bike, you said goodbye to your really close friends in your neighborhood, in your childhood neighborhood. You
for dinner.
You biked home, and that was the last time you said goodbye to your friends and biked home. And I was like, what? Or something like that. And I was like, oh my God.
No, literally. Because it was like, oh, you come home when the streetlights go on. That's like what everyone knew as kids. Streetlights are on, you come home. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
And I remember going home, and then mom would have dinner ready, and we'd watch a show after, maybe like America's Funniest Home Videos. We'd go to swimming. It was just this time in life that was just so pure. And like also that same trend of like, there's a time where you all lived under the same roof, and then that is not, like, that will never happen again.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird that you spend like my whole life up until I moved out, like I'm just living with these people.
And like also I think about it, and I'm like, our childhood dog Lola, we put her down when she was what, 12, 13?
I don't even know, but I would not consider her my childhood dog.
I was a kid when we got her.
Whoa.
So she was the dog that we had for like the longest period of time.
Yeah.
And she was there through like crazy
breakups,
like chapters of my life. And then she was just gone one day. And then when like even recently I realized like it's been 5 years.
Oh my God, it's been 5 years? That's crazy. Well, I mean, the fact that Boo has like gray on his face now.
I know.
I'm like
I got
you as a puppy.
The house that you and Dan moved into, that you were renting, your first ever home.
Yeah, that I moved out of my childhood home to move into this one with a boy.
When you were at that home, that was such an era.
Yeah.
Like I associate going to that home with like still being, it was like still during that time when I was like 24 to 26.
Yeah.
And like single for the first time, and like the people and the friends that I had during that time period, and like what I was doing and how I was feeling, and I had my blonde hair. Like it was such an era.
Such an era.
And I think back and I'm like, I almost don't even recognize that girl.
Yeah. That was a time in my life.
And like, when did I change? When did I go from that to this? Like, obviously I changed gradually over time. I know that, but I'm like, what?
And then in 10 years from now, you're going to look back at now and you're going to be like, wow, I'm so different than that person.
In 10 years from now, I'm probably going to have kids.
That makes me happy that you want kids. Because there was a point in time where you're like, I don't want kids.
Still, sometimes I'm like, do I want kids for me because I genuinely want kids, or is it because I feel like I have to?
Don't have them if you feel like that's the reason. If you feel like you have to have kids because of society, do not have kids.
I know that's almost like a part that scares me. But like also at the same time, I do genuinely want kids sometimes.
Because
like,
it is beautiful and amazing, but it's like it changes your life forever.
Yeah.
And it's a lifelong commitment and responsibility forever. Yeah. And I definitely think there are people in this world who should not be parents. And I'm not saying that's you.
No.
But I'm saying it's like you didn't even want a kid. Like why? Like why? You know, like, and like they don't have this human.
But then again,
soul
at the same time,
life.
I do want a kid.
Right.
It's weird. I think it's like very fear-based.
Probably. I think you'd be an excellent mom.
But I only want one. I don't want
fine.
two.
You don't need to have. You literally could have one. There's lots of people.
But I also like don't want to have like my kid be like that only child syndrome. You know what I mean?
See, I hate that because I was like so fearful of that when I couldn't get pregnant the second time. And I've realized that there's very many ways to like, anyways, I don't want to like offend anyone with what I'm about to say. But it's like, that is a thing because like growing up in a house with siblings obviously teaches you something that you can't get anywhere else. But there are so many positives to being an only kid too. Like so many positives. There's a lot. And they will socialize in other ways.
Like what is the positives?
Well, you mature a lot faster because you're surrounded by adults more often.
Yeah.
You got a lot more attention. So typically like in whatever aspect that your parents kind of like steer you in, like let's say that's academics or whatever it is that you're interested in, you become really good at it because it's like two adults on one. You most of the time have a lot more money because the finances aren't split between two children, so you can experience more things. You probably travel more. Like there's just a lot more to it. There's a lot of benefits to it. Just like in anything in life, there's pros and cons, right? I see people that have come from a family of 4, and it's totally a different dynamic than coming from a family of 4 kids versus a family of 2 kids. Because let's say you and I got into a fight as kids, well, then we were in a fight and we're not talking to each other. But if you're in a family with 3 or 4 kids, if you're fighting with one of them, well, you can just go play with another. Or sometimes 2 gang up on one. Like, it's like there's a totally different dynamic there. And I don't know. It's just...
Oh my God, I would hate having another sibling, I think.
I don't know. I feel like I see, because I have a few friends that come from multiples, and now I have a friend that has 3 kids.
Mom wanted to have another one after me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, thanks, Mom. You wanted to make me the middle child.
You could totally be the middle child. I could see you being the middle child. Yeah. Yeah, because you and Elu are very similar in certain ways.
Aren't middle children like the weird ones?
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean weird?
Yeah, middle children, the middle sibling is like the one that's kind of like they're just weird. Like the first one is all like proper weird? Put together. The middle one's weird, and then the young one is like the one that just doesn't give a fuck. I'm talking like stereotypes.
No, I would say the stereotype that I would know is that the first one is accurate with what you just said. The youngest one is the baby, and then the middle one would be like the one that doesn't give a fuck, that usually is the peacekeeper, and like because they were the second to come along, but not for very long because then a baby came, and so they're kind of like, they never really got the attention.
Yeah, they're like the ones that are neglected the most.
I think the middle child is like I wouldn't say weird, I would say like wild. The wild one.
Yeah, maybe.
I could totally see
I don't know. That was like a stereotype, by the way.
Well, technically I'm the middle one, right? Because Mom had a miscarriage.
Yeah, but like you never had to actually.
Yes, but in like our souls.
Do you think it was a boy, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Could you imagine us with like an older brother?
Well, if they had him and me, they might not have had you.
I know.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what it's like to have a brother. The only time I ever knew what it was like to have a brother was when you were 2 years old and put a snake in your underwear. That's the only time I knew what it was like to have a brother.
I guess for me, it was like Dan eventually kind of became like a brother, but like it's not
or
the
like
same.
Our cousin Rick.
I was never close with Rick though.
Really?
Yeah.
He literally like lived at our house.
I don't remember. I don't even remember Christina babysitting us or like living with us. But I was young.
That's true. Yeah, you were really little.
I don't remember a lot of things.
That's one thing.
But I also have like really bad memory. Like there's things if it doesn't like
do you have bad long-term memory or just like memory in general?
I think if it doesn't interest me enough, I just don't remember it.
And
like people get insulted by that, but I'm like, I'm not picking and choosing what I'm interested in versus what I'm not. Like it's just certain things latch into my memory.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have memory issues. I think for me, it's more of an ADHD thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Unless I'm very interested or like the stakes are high or whatever it is, that's going to actually, my brain is going to like latch onto it.
Yeah.
Then like I'm going to forget.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of like that too. Like even yesterday I was talking to my friend and we were trying to organize like this event and she was like, because I sent a list of my friends. I was like, send a list of yours. She's like, you know all my friends. I'm like, I literally can name 2 of your friends. Like I don't know anyone else.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, Alex. I was like, I cannot remember for the life of me one person's name because I don't know them.
Well, it's like,
they're not my friends.
One of my best friends, like there's certain people that like she's told me about like from her past, like guys like she's dated or friends or whatever. And like there's some names that I'm like, yes, I remember these names. But there's like some names when she's telling me stories and I know that I should know exactly who this person is.
But you can't.
Because she's talked about it numerous times.
Yeah.
Not in a way that's like still actively, like not in a way that was like, oh, this person was the people who impacted her the most, I remember.
Right.
But like there's certain people that like they're still significant names that I'm like literally no idea who that is.
Yeah, like if you saw a photo, maybe you'd be like, oh yeah, I recognize that person. But like you wouldn't know by
I wouldn't
name.
even recognize by a photo.
Well, that's the thing I told my friend. I was like, I don't know your mom friends. Like we don't hang out as moms really.
Yeah.
Like you have these new mom friends. That's great. I met them maybe like a few times, a handful of times at like a birthday party for your kid. But like you don't ever talk about them. I don't never hung out with them. I don't remember their names. I'm sorry. Because she was like, really, Alex? And I was like, okay, name one of my freaking mom friends that you don't know. Like, it's hard.
People take it very personally, but like I know for me it's an ADHD thing because it's like I'm not.
For me, I just don't care enough.
But it's also like it's not that you don't care about the person.
No, I don't care about knowing who these people are that are not my friends, and I won't hang out with them, and I won't ever see them.
Yeah, like unless someone is like actively doing something that's like affecting your friend, and they're talking about it, and you have different empathy for your friend, and you feel bad, like that will stick because it's like, oh, like my friend is being hurt in some way.
But if they're like, oh, you met them at the birthday party one time. Okay, I spoke to like a bunch of people at that birthday party. Which one is this? Like, I know people they're always like, who was it that I was having a conversation with someone and they were like, yeah, no, like you met this person at this event. And I was like, okay, I don't know. Like, I don't remember meeting this person at all. And they're like, really? Like you were talking to them and I was like, memorable enough for me to remember.
I was like, I don't remember. Like, are you sure? I was like, and then I was just kind of like, sometimes I just tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, even though I have no idea. Cause I'm like, people get so insulted. They take it so personally, but it's like, unless you have ADHD, like you just.
Listen, if you're meeting someone for like the 5th or 6th time and they're still introducing themselves to you, that's a little bit rude.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
We're saying like in a party scenario where there's a lot of people. Or
even sometimes you'll never even meet the person.
Yeah.
You just hear about them through your friend or whoever and like you don't remember their name. Or like sometimes they'll just tell you a story about something that like happened and like you just don't remember the story.
The story.
You know what I mean?
The story.
No, there's like certain things though that I'm like I should know this and I don't. And I won't ask because it's going to piss them off.
Yeah. I needed to ask her friends' names specifically for this event. And she was like, you know my friends. And I was like, I can name 2 people. I can name your cousins because I literally have been friends with you for 15 years and your cousins were like your best friends and they were bridesmaids and like we're all have hung out multiple times. I can name your cousins, but your new friends who I've met on occasion once or twice, I don't even remember what their kid looks like.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
I mean, like there's even people like on dad's side of the family, like relatives of relatives or whatever, you know, like there's like certain like
you're like, who is that?
Dad's like aunts or uncles or like his cousins or whatever that everyone in the family like they can name, and like every single time I'm like, who's that again? Well, and they're like, that's not your fault. You were around this, but like Sophia will remember. Yeah, and she's my younger cousin.
But she doesn't actually have memories with this person.
That's no, but she will remember. I don't.
Yes, because she
doesn't have ADHD like me.
Well, but also she will remember like the detail of this phone number from 10 years. You know what I mean? Like she has an insane memory. I wouldn't compare with.
But I'll have a memory like that with certain. Like I remember our neighbor's phone number.
Yeah. See,
when I was a kid,
that's wild.
Why is that something that I remember?
Because you had to do it so many times because that's how you would get a hold of somebody.
But how is that what I remember? Or like I remember my first ever boyfriend's phone number.
I don't remember anyone's birthday other than like my immediate family.
I have to write everyone's birthday down in my phone. To this day, I will be completely honest with you, and I hope he never takes this personally. I don't remember when Dan's birthday is.
Same.
I always forget
It's either January 14th or 15th. I never know which one.
See, I'm thinking January 8th. And then I'm like, no, maybe it's the 18th.
For me, I know it's either 14 or 15. I can never remember which one it is. But I know it's one of those two. Hopefully I'm right.
You know, my boyfriend is a Cancer.
Oh, that's why you get along. Sagittarius and Cancer does get along very well.
Do they?
They're not like Taurus and Cancer, like me and Arky. But like, and Capricorn and Cancer actually make a really good team. That's why Dan and I make a good team. Cancers are just very like sensitive, but not like in a bad way. They're just, I don't know. I love being a Cancer. But anyway.
I don't know why I just thought of that. Anyways.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope I didn't make you too emotional. And if I did, that's great. Let it out. And love to hear your thoughts in the comments. We love you guys and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.